Hello everyone, friends. Today is March 2nd, 2026. We are analyzing the key events in the financial markets. Oil. That's what we're starting with now because all attention is focused on it. It's surging due to geopolitics. Now let's touch on gold. Gold is strengthening as a safe haven and is also rising. We'll analyze S&P 500 futures and also take a look at cryptocurrency. Let's start with oil. Brent oil has jumped to $82 per barrel, up 13%. This is above previous levels. This is actually the highest since January 2025. And this situation is of course caused by the closure of the Hormuz Strait due to the war between the US, Israel, and Iran. Tankers have stopped moving towards the Saudi refinery. All of this has intensified the supply shortage. And just so you understand, that's about 20% of the world's oil. In other words, 20% of global oil used to pass through this strait. And now there's a real collapse happening there. WTI oil has also risen to $72. But overall, the market is very nervous. Because if this conflict drags on, prices could easily break through $100 per barrel, although so far the increase is less than expected. Honestly, many people expected this price increase to be much sharper. Here, the growth is still rather modest. Overall, for traders, this is a signal to go long, but with caution. So overall, if this whole situation in the Middle East continues, we could see oil above $100 per barrel. Now let's move on to gold. Gold, as you can see, is also starting to rise. Since the beginning of the year, over the past month, the maximum has been $5,398 per ounce. That's what gold is showing right now. And that's a plus of 2.8% since Friday. This is the strongest gap since November 2025. All of this, of course, is also happening against the backdrop of the escalation in Iran. Futures have risen by 2.5%. Silver has climbed by 1.5% to just over $95. So this is a classic reaction to geopolitics and inflation. Investors are fleeing to a safe haven. If the tension persists, then the target of $5,500 is quite a realistic goal that we could see in the coming days. As for whether to buy gold now or not, it depends on the time frame. Overall, if the current tension lasts long enough, we could see gold go even higher than $5,500. On the other hand, overall, there are signals now suggesting that gold has already become quite expensive, so for a really long-term investment, it seems like buying gold now may not be the best idea. It's too late, but again, no one knows the future. It all depends on your financial goals and time horizons. If we look at S&P futures, they have dropped by 1.3%. The Nasdaq has fallen by 1.7%. All of this is due to the oil shock and inflation fears stemming from the Middle East conflict. Overall, the US stock market is opening under pressure. The energy crisis is hitting company expenses. Bonds in Europe are becoming more expensive, and this increases the cost of borrowing. Therefore, the index could very well test the support at 5,500 points. But if the Fed hints at easing rates, we might see a rebound. In any case, we will be watching how events unfold in the Middle East. As for Bitcoin, Bitcoin is currently trading at around $65,800. So this is roughly the same price as it was essentially since the beginning of February. In other words, we see that Bitcoin is moving sideways. And unlike oil, gold, and even the S&P 500, Bitcoin looks quite strong. And it seems to be completely ignoring all geopolitical events. Looking at the bigger picture, even though Bitcoin is currently treading water and moving sideways, it's quite clear that Bitcoin has already reached what appears to be a definitive bottom. And now, it's unlikely that Bitcoin will go significantly lower than what we saw at the beginning of February. At least for now, there are no such trends. But on the other hand, if we see that the S&P 500 is going to decline, and if it declines for an extended period of time, as a rule, Bitcoin tends to follow the major stock indices, including the S&P 500. Therefore, if we observe a drop in the main stock indices, we can also expect a decline in Bitcoin as well. Overall, the total market capitalization of cryptocurrency is estimated at $2.27 trillion. The market capitalization hasn't changed significantly. This has been the case recently. It remains in the same movement as it was in February, which actually indicates that most likely we have found some kind of bottom after all. The fear and greed index is starting to recover, but it still remains in the zone of extreme fear. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, it also remains unchanged. Bitcoin still accounts for 58% and Ethereum for 10%. However, the trend of Bitcoin's share decreasing in dominance still persists. As I mentioned in previous broadcasts, I expect Bitcoin's share to decrease to 55 to 56%. And against this backdrop, we might see some kind of rebound in altcoins. But for now, it's too early to talk about that. Overall, over the past few days, despite such active geopolitical activity, a negative news background. Despite all this, cryptocurrencies as a whole seem to be completely ignoring and not reacting to external events. Perhaps the reaction will be delayed. I still expect that there will indeed be some hype in the cryptocurrency market, likely also related to the fact that there were strikes on Dubai in certain locations in the UAE. And probably some people who want to move their capital out of there will use cryptocurrency to do so. And still, I think that locally the demand for cryptocurrency may rise in the near future. But these are solely my thoughts, specifically in connection with the military actions in the Middle East. Maybe they will be confirmed, maybe not. We'll see in a day or two, it will become clear. That's basically all for now. I don't expect any serious price fluctuations for Bitcoin in the near future. I think Bitcoin will continue to move sideways within this range. Maybe there will be an upper boundary around 70,000 and a lower boundary around 62,000. We'll keep an eye on what happens with the S&P500. If it starts to drop significantly, then we can say that Bitcoin's price might also go down. But for now, it seems like we've already found the bottom and are just treading water. For now, we're staying in the same place. There aren't any positive factors for Bitcoin to grow, and there have already been plenty of negative ones before this, so everyone who could sell has already sold. But that's just how things are for now. So right now, I still think it's a good time to buy cryptocurrency for your long-term portfolio. For those who are ready to wait a year or more. Because the price is good. And really, right now, the largest funds will start buying Bitcoin ahead of the next growth cycle. Let me remind you that in May, the head of the Federal Reserve will change, and we will likely see some serious changes. A seriously different picture on the financial market. Everything related to the Federal Reserve will be a little different starting in June. At least that's what is expected as well. That's all for now. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.